In 1941, he enlisted with the U.S. Marines to fight in World War II. After every meal, he and his fellow soldiers were given free cigarettes. He didn't know that the cigarettes had any dangers. He didn't know that he would eventually become addicted to the nicotine. The more he smoked, the more addicted he became. The more addicted he became, the more he smoked. Just 2 years ago, my grandfather died of lung cancer. Resolved that the U.S. federal government should substantially increase marketing restrictions on harmful products. The affirmative defines substantially according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary as important or essential, and marketing according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary as the process or technique of promoting or selling and or distributing a product or service. In context, today we will provide to you that the U.S. federal government should enact an essential restriction on the process or technique of promoting, selling, or distributing a product. People have known for hundreds of years that tobacco is a dangerous and addicting drug. King James I knew that tobacco was dangerous in the early 17th century when he said, "Smoking is a custom loathsome to the eye, hateful to the nose, harmful to the brain, and dangerous to the lungs." Sir Francis Bacon knew tobacco was addicting in the early 17th century when he said, "The use of tobacco is growing greatly and conquers men with a certain secret pleasure, so that those who have once become accustomed thereto can hardly be restrained therefrom." We knew about the dangers of tobacco for a long time, and yet, because of unrestricted marketing, many did not recognize these dangers. Tobacco companies were able to make unsubstantiated claims about their product, and Americans died because of it. If those men knew then that the tobacco was dangerous and addicting, why didn't my grandfather know? Because of advertising. He lived in an era without regulation on ads. Doctors were pledging their support to cigarette brands. Famous actors and actresses were given cigarettes to use as props. Cigarette companies were doing all that they could to hush the claims of cancers and deaths caused by their product. And because of this, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 443,000 people die each year. Remember, these people are like my grandfather, started smoking in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, when there was almost no regulation on cigarette ads, and so, without proper knowledge, these people became addicted. Today, we have thankfully seen an increase on regulation of cigarette marketing. However, recently there has been a new product on the market that, though as dangerous as cigarettes, they have not been regulated. E-cigarettes are a nicotine vaporizer that look like a cigarette and have nicotine, but don't emit smoke like regular cigarettes. Because of this, many are under the false assumption that they are healthier than regular cigarettes. E-cigarettes have been linked to the same cancers that cigarettes have been linked to in studies done by the FDA. However, there have been no restrictions made yet on these fake cigarettes. In fact, there has been no law created yet that bans selling to minors, despite current laws in place against selling cigarettes to minors. Why is this the case? E-cigarettes have only been marketed in the United States for the past couple of years. And because they're so new, there's been no official law yet. The FDA has been trying to put extensive restrictions on the product by labeling it a drug delivery device. However, they've lost 2 court cases already and don't seem like they're slowing down. Until the FDA deems whether e-cigarettes are a drug delivery device or a nicotine product, there will be no restrictions on e-cigarettes. The affirmative sees something inherently flawed in this. The more time without restrictions, the more time people will sample the product without proper knowledge of the cancers e-cigarettes cause and become addicted. E-cigarettes draw heavy comparisons to cigarettes in the early 20th century. Though we have knowledge of the harm that e-cigarettes and cigarettes will do to your health, both e-cigarettes and cigarettes have been embraced by doctors. The American Association of Public Health Physicians, a small professional association of public health physicians that has been recognized by the American Medical Association, have been both recommending the e-cigarettes and have continued to fight against the FDA in its mission to deem these e-cigarettes as a drug delivery device. According to a September 2010 AOL News article, there has still been no legislation against the sale of these e-cigarettes to minors. Even worse, it seems like these e-cigarettes are designing specific e-cigarettes for children, with flavors such as bubblegum, buttered popcorn, fudge, and cookie dough. This doesn't seem like a 40-year-old is likely to be smoking the bubblegum-flavored cigarette. We need to stop the next generation from falling prey to the same old marketing tricks that my grandfather's generation fell prey to. These e-cigarettes are dangerous, and without any regulation, we are putting American lives at risk. I urge you to vote an affirmative ballot today to prevent a repeat of history. Thank you.